happened back in 2020. Our son Max was diagnosed with Duchenne's in the January, and later in that year my sister was doing some research looking online, and she came across Action Duchenne. She registered us on your database and provided me and Ian with some seminar details. So we joined a few of the calls, and from there then we received a call from the family support team, and that's where we built the relationship with Action Duchenne. They put us in contact with a local family, which has been fantastic, which we see regularly, and individually with the children and without them, just as adults go out together. So yeah, that's how we all got together with Action Duchenne. We are doing a charity dinner dance, so black tie, posh frocks. We've sold tables, we've got live bands playing, we've got an auction, a silent auction and a raffle. We've had to split it out because we've had so many generous prizes given to us. So we've got an awful lot going on the night. Yeah, everyone's coming along, they purchase a table, come and have a 3-course meal, and then some dancing, and we've got lots of activities going on. So yeah, we're hosting it at Aston Villa Football Ground. It's sold out. We've got 32 full tables attending. Brilliant. So over 330 people attending. It was the brainchild of my colleague and friend Sally. She came up with the idea when we were all out one evening. There's 5 of us on the committee. We all used to work together at Santander at some point, so that's how we became friends. We decided we wanted to do something, and Sally thought up the idea of a charity dinner dance. From that, the 5 of us have become the committee for the event. So all the planning, all the deciding has been a group effort, but then it has spread out to an awful lot of family and friends that have helped with sourcing prizes or printing of documents, the technology involved of getting everything onto TV screens and making the event as enjoyable, as big, and we want it to be really, really special. So polished, yeah. It's making that difference of, we didn't just want a little small event. I thought if we're going to do it, we're going to do it properly. So we have gone big, and it's worked for us. We've got some very big prizes, and there is no item that is meh. Everything is really good. So we're really pleased. The group of people around us and word of mouth of people knew what we were doing, and people came to us saying, I can get you X, Y, and Z. Is that something you'd be interested in? And of course we said yes every time, and it's made it really good. We've got friends that have offered different services that they do, printing and sign making. They've donated the product for free for us. It's been a lot of work on top of a full-time job and Max and the house and the other children. I said, but when we're there on Saturday night, it's going to be all worth it. So we are going to make it such a fun event, but have little focused amounts of time so people understand why they're there. But it's not a negative evening. It's going to be a great evening. Just make sure you've got a good group of people around you that can help, and reach out to everybody, and don't be afraid to ask. Don't be afraid to ask anybody for anything. The worst thing they're going to do is say no, and then you just go and ask the next person. If you know what you want to do, then go for it. Get a list of what you think would be the ideal and push for it. There is no reason why you can't meet all those ideal items or venues, or whatever the task is you want to partake in. There is always a way to do it. We've got a long list of people that we keep adding to that have made big differences to the night for us, so we're going to make sure everyone gets thanked.
People have pulled out all stops for it, haven't they?
100%.
We owe a lot of favours.
Oh yeah, I've definitely used up all of my favours, so I'll be giving back a lot for a while now, so it's fine. For me, I've found since Max's diagnosis, my best therapy is to keep busy. I don't want to sit there and dwell on things because you can't fix it. So the way I've handled it since he was diagnosed is to stay busy and find things that I'm passionate about and put 1000% into it. So we wanted to raise awareness, we wanted to raise money, so we've gone big on this. So But for me, that's how I find, yes, we have full-time jobs and the children and the house and Max and everything else, but it doesn't stop me. There's always enough hours in the day if you want to do something. The newly diagnosed part, that's really important to me, because it was so lacking when we were diagnosed.
It was horrific.
That at the
They
time,
gave me a little leaflet and went, there you go.
with a post-it note with an email address on,
That was it.
that there should be something waiting at the hospital for the newly diagnosed parents. It shouldn't be the parents trying to find a charity. It should be the other way around. So a gift,
little box,
nothing fancy,
something.
just something that says, even down to, I think I suggested it at the conference, the parents, when they're there and been diagnosed, the doctor gets them to sign something to say, you can phone them. That's simple. You're put in contact with them instead of them having to come and find you. They can say, I know it's horrible what's happened. We've got charities that we work with. If you would give us your contact number, we will get them to phone you. That's simple. And to be fair, at the time we would have said yes, wouldn't we?
I think so, yeah.
I found it really helpful to talk to someone who I didn't know. I said that made it a lot easier to say certain things, because when we had the diagnosis, it hit our families just as hard as us. So it's hard to talk about it with family when you can see they're getting so upset as well. So I went and talked to someone that didn't know anything about me, anything about the situation, and that really helped. I said, and then also when we met Ben and Claire, that really helped us both.
That peer-to-peer that you operate is fantastic.
Yeah, that
really
made a massive difference, that we were just I think like comparing notes, wasn't it, at some point?
It was.
But that helped, and we were going, well, what did you do and how did that happen, or how has that affected Harry, or how has that affected Max? And
we're now on a WhatsApp group with 6 or 7 other parents that we all met at the Action Duchenne conference. So we're all on a group chat with them from Ireland and Wales and Scotland, and it's really, really good.
It's just sharing the point of, oh, this has happened, how do we fix it? I think it's
feeling like you're not on your own.
Yeah,
is what it is.
Having access to other people that have failed is a massive difference. Any newly diagnosed, when you feel ready, then approach someone.
Absolutely.
Not until you're ready. And like, when you feel ready, when you feel like, okay, I can talk about it, or I want to talk to somebody that knows how it feels, so I can be 100% open. I think that's the best time to reach out, to talk to Action Duchenne, or go and see someone privately. It's entirely up to you, but don't bottle it all up, I think, is my biggest bit of advice. When you're ready, talk.
My biggest piece of advice is don't chew up, bite off more than you can chew. Mm-hmm. So don't go home and Google when you've had a diagnosis, because it's overwhelming. Just little segments that you need to know during that day, that week, that month, and then move on to the next bit, because it all happens relatively slowly. So you don't need to know about end of life care until you get to that point. You don't need to know about that when you've got a 3-year-old to think of that still wants to get up in the morning and have a tickle and a play and go in the swing. You've still got to do that.
But after Max's diagnosis, we had our time of having to deal with the diagnosis process and everything, and then we got to a point where we wanted to do something to make a difference. And we wanted to raise not only the money for the charity, but create awareness, because until Max was diagnosed, we'd never heard of Duchenne's. No. We knew nothing about it, and I think that was a big step for us to share it with all friends, family, colleagues. Making people aware of the condition is just as important, I think, as raising money for the condition and for the charity. So yeah, I wanted to do an event that would hopefully make a difference. It is trying to bring something positive out of something negative.